Once you have a keyword list, what are you going to do with this list? Well, that's what SEO is all about, of course. You're going to use those keywords in your web pages and in links pointing to your web pages. But which keywords? You may have a very large list of keywords, so there are a few basic things to consider, a few different strategies, different ways to use these keywords. The natural inclination is to focus on the most popular terms, the terms people are using the most. This is possible in some businesses, but if your business is very competitive, then it's hard to target these terms. For instance, if you're a mortgage broker, the chance of you ranking well for the term mortgage is next to zero. This is a hugely competitive area, with a number of companies spending enormous sums of money targeting primary terms such as mortgage and home loan. There are areas that are less competitive, of course. If your company sells rabbit hutches, you'll probably want to target the primary terms because the competition is so much less intense. In very competitive business, you may need to pick keywords with less competition and focus on those. I'll come back to that idea in a moment. What do I mean by targeting particular keywords? Whether the primary, most popular terms or secondary, less popular terms. I'll be explaining the specifics of how to use terms you're targeting later in this course, but let's say you plan to target the term rabbit hutch. You're going to be creating web pages that use that term and optimize the pages for that term. You'll use the term in pages URLs, in the title tags, in the H tags, the heading tags. You'll use the term in the body text within the page, and you'll create links within your site on other pages pointing to that page. You'll put the keywords in the anchor text, the text in the link that is visible to people viewing your pages. You'll also want to create links on other sites pointing to that page, again, using the keywords in the anchor text. You can also put the keywords in other places, such as image alt attributes and embodied text, perhaps within bulleted lists, using bold text, using italicized text, and so on. I'll explain the specifics in later lessons. You can only really optimize a page for a single phrase at a time. There's only one title tag, only one URL, and so on. In some cases, the phrase you're optimizing for may actually be a combination. For instance, if you optimize for the phrase buy rabbit hutch, you're more or less also optimizing for the phrase rabbit hutch at the same time. However, even though you're focusing on one particular keyword phrase for a particular page, you'll want to mix in other related phrases. If you're focusing on rabbit hutch, you'll also include, spread around the page, terms such as buy rabbit hutch plans, indoor rabbit hutch for sale, bunny cage, and so on. So, whatever keywords you choose, you'll use those keywords in various ways, both on-page and off-page, to convince the search engines that your pages are good matches for those keywords. On-page optimization means things you do to your own pages. Off-page optimization essentially means creating links from other websites pointing to your site. Of course, you'll have more than one keyword you'll be working with, so one strategy you might use is to create a list and work your way down. In a non-competitive arena, you might simply sort the lists with the most popular keywords at the top and work your way down the list, creating pages optimized for each keyword one by one. Perhaps this may be a long-term program. A small business might set a goal of creating one optimized page each day or several a week and work their way down the list doing one keyword phrase after another. For each page, they'll create some kind of quality, useful content that can, in effect, carry the keyword for which the page is being optimized. So what about if your business is very competitive? What do you do for, say, mortgages? Well, there are a couple of options. The first thing to consider is if you're working in a limited geographic market. It might be possible for a mortgage broker to target a particular city, for instance. In some cases, in fact, targeting locally is essential. There's no point a real estate agent targeting the broad terms such as real estate or buy home. they have to target people in their particular city anyway. This is something I'll be talking about later in the course. The other strategy is to go after what are known as long-tail keywords. In any business, most searches are not actually for the most popular terms, because there are many thousands of terms that, while they're infrequently searched for, in combination account for more searches than the most popular terms. So you back off the most popular terms and target terms lower down the popularity list. But I do want to be clear about one thing. SEO can be very easy in some cases, but extremely hard in others. There are some businesses that are hugely competitive: insurance, loans, mortgages, legal services, for instance. There are cases where success in SEO may be out of reach for many businesses, in particular small firms, or may at least require a very intense investment of time and money.